Good afternoon. So this is how I answered the activity on chapter 8 and 9, costs in the short run and long run. The task is to fill the missing cells in two tables. So this one is the two tables that are mentioned. For this, what I did was, for the variable cost, which is given, the fixed cost is fixed. So I just copy and paste 10 all throughout the table. Then for the total cost, I just add fixed cost and variable cost. There I have the total cost. For the average total cost, I just divide the total cost to the quantity that was given. For the marginal cost, what I did was um, divide the difference between divide the change in total cost to the change in the quantity. So what happened was 90 divided by 90 minus 62 divided by 10 minus 0. And this is the answer that I got all throughout. For table 2, what I did, for table 2, long run cost schedule of Moderno. So the givens are the output, the labor units, the capital units, the cost per unit of labor, which is W equals 15, and the cost per unit of capital, which is R 30. What I did here was this one. I first make sure to get the the cost of labor, to which I multiplied the cost per unit times the units produced for labor, and then the capital costs, which I used to, which I, what do you call this? I'm sorry. Which capital cost, I multiply the cost per unit to the capital units produced for capital. And then I got these values, and then this is what I added. So the labor costs and the capital cost is equals the total cost. For the long run average cost, I just divided the total cost with the output. And for the long run marginal cost, same as the first table, what I did was the change in total cost divided by the change in output, which is 1260 divided 1260 minus 1080 divided by 600 minus 300 is equals to 0. For the tables, I just input all these values into the data selection for the tables, and it did the work for me by creating this graph. Same with this one. For the following tasks after that, we were asked to describe the behavior of the cost based on your graph in number 2 and in number 4. For number 2, the graph shows that the total cost, marginal cost, and average cost are increasing same way as the other. Also, the um, the variable. This is variable. The variable. The variable cost can be seen as something that increases its value, however, was not enough to merge with the latter. The fixed cost line. remain fixed its value. For the second graph, for the second graph, just like the first table, the long run marginal cost, total cost, and long run average cost are increasing the same way that that made them look like they have merged into one line. While the labor unit cost increases its value, but it was lower than the rest of the cost, and the capital unit cost also increases in between. Number six. The question for number six is using your graphs for table one and two, compared and contrast, if any, between TC, ATC, MC of Astron Sinoca, and their counterpart cost in Moderno. Looking at the graph, you can see a semblance of how some lines merge into one, still, but still has different values. The fixed cost is the only different one because it did not appear on the second graph, but other than that, by observing the looks of it, both graphs look similar, but the difference are seen in the values. Number seven, in the long run, all costs are variable for the reason that you cannot really specify how much something is until you come across it. Therefore, even companies will find it hard to assume how much something is worth in the long run, and taking assumptions will not be as reliable as it is on the short term run. So that's how I answered the activity.